Welcome all to the Blockchain Report. I am Veteran Crypto, and we have Jeff as usual.
Welcome, welcome.
We're going to be talking about some exciting upcoming airdrops, the state of the current markets, and maybe touch on a little bit of DeFi if we got some time. But I know Jeff has a ton of really good alpha when it comes to some airdrops that are inbound and some details on those. Real quick, before I turn it over to Jeff, I will cover the current markets. So let me go ahead and share my screen. We have started to get a little bit of a pump as of the last, I don't know, about 2 hours, 3 hours. I was monitoring my DeFi and started seeing, even Ethereum start to move in a positive direction, which was awesome. I got a substantial, wrapped ETH USDC liquidity pool that I'm in. And when that thing is producing, man, that thing's a workhorse. I think on average, I've been getting like 1,000 to 1,500% APR. So yeah,
Oh, shit,
there's times when all my liquidity pools are the max I've seen has been like a little over $500 a day, but of course it fluctuates. But
yeah.
I've been averaging about $150 to $200 a day in liquidity pools, just with the way that the markets have been. And then and that's off of like the 15, 16 grand that I have in there currently, because it went from about 19 grand to about 15, and now it's back up to about 17. It's recovering from that dip, but yeah, I mean, making $200 off of 16,000, just for doing nothing but lending out your money isn't a bad little income. And I've actually been using it the past week or two. I've actually been buying into DCAing into Morpho, another base project. So, what do you know
the
about
DeFi? No, I haven't gotten into Morpho yet, but I've been, keeping my position. I actually added to my position because I was staking Pyth. It's kind of like the chain link on Solana, and I got like 4,000 tokens from their airdrop, and I just had it staking, and it wasn't really. I was hoping to get some other airdrops from it, but I just decided to move that into my DeFi position to try and get more rewards. And I before this last drop, I was able to swap out, so it was a nice move because I didn't lose as much moving it back into Ethereum as keeping it in Pyth. But I just added that and then put a position in Aerodrome, so it's adding a little bit more and on the reward side. So it's doing a lot more for me than just staking and sitting somewhere else, because they don't allow U.S. citizens anymore or anyone that uses a VPN to access their governance dashboard either. So you can unstake Pyth, the Pyth network.
Oh.
So when I got the airdrop, I initially staked it and was like, I'll hold on to this, see if I get any rewards from it, and never really got much. But unlike Jupiter, the exchange, they've given rewards for staking.
They're generous. I don't own any Jupiter. I know that Drew's talked about it a lot, and I know that he's really bullish on it, and a couple other people that I watch. But I never bought any, unfortunately. But looking at the Jupiter platform, the DeFi platform, while I've been learning about DeFi and figuring out which places are best to do what. They're really generous when it comes to their APRs and APYs. And rewards for staking the native token.
I got like 200 Jupiter from their airdrop just for clicking, like connecting to the site. I think when I checked for the airdrop claims, they were like, oh, you didn't have any activity on our exchange, but since you connected your stuff, we'll give you 200 tokens. I was like, oh shit, okay. So I just staked them anyways, and it's cool because I've voted on some of the proposals on quite a few of
Yeah.
them. They've given airdrop airdrop tokens for other things. It's not much. It's like pennies and shit here and
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
But
but it adds up, and
yeah,
it's free money. I mean, those of you watching that don't understand what airdrops are, is it's basically incentives,
mm-hmm.
or rewards for either holding a certain token or doing certain tasks. So some of them. Well, here, let me pull this up real quick. It's a website.
Yeah, and to get community engagement too. You want people to come back,
Yeah.
and that's what Optimism has done incredibly well. Their last airdrop was pretty substantial, for continued users, people who are making transactions and building on there. And even I feel like with Base, once they they say they're not going to launch a token, but I feel like eventually they'll cave in, and people who have been active on there, very active, are going to have a surprise one day when Base is like, "Oh, you're eligible for our airdrop," and it's going to be fat.
Oh, I
So
hope it's for Arrow and
you just
using the
never.
friggin' and using that platform because I'll be balling.
Yeah.
I've been using the hell out of that thing. So, um,
Yep.
yeah. So those of you that don't know, just to give you a little bit of 101 on airdrops. So the, each one of these is you do different things. So this one's Data Pig, and this website airdropalert.com is one of many, but it gives you step by step. So this one, to get the airdrop, you have to access their app. Connect your wallet, like Jeff was just saying. How he got some of that Pyth and whatnot, and then add the Vanna network and claim Vanna via the Vanna faucet. And you can get into that a little bit if you want, Jeff. But
Mm-hmm.
unlock Gertrude prophetic AI reports. And so basically, there's these steps that you have to do. Some of them are a little more complex. Some of them are super easy. And so one of them that I am pretty excited about is this one. So Dagnum PI, Drew talked about this on the blockchain basement. I sent it to him earlier today, this morning. But yesterday, I was talking to Dagnum. You can see over here our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But he posted this, and I have held a large bag of DAG. And I it bugs the shit out of me when I can't earn off of my holding.
Just
It's
sitting
just
there.
like, yeah, it's just nails on a chalkboard for me. If I can't stake it, if I can't use it for DeFi or something, it bugs me. So anyway, he posted this, and so my spidey sense started tingling, and so I asked him, what's going on with it, and where do we have to hold our DAG? And so he told me the Stargazer wallet. So I downloaded the browser extension, the Stargazer wallet, and moved from Uphold. I moved my DAG over to it, and supposedly the airdrop is going to be in Paca, which is a DeFi platform that's going to be launching on Constellation DAG. So let me see
Mm-hmm.
real quick. I think that I have.
Ooh.
Yeah. So the Stardust Collective, was talking about it, but basically, it's called Paca Swap, is the new Constellation and Lattice Exchange DEX. Uh, so basically, if you hold LTX, which is one I held a long time ago, and gave it up to buy some other projects, but they're going to be airdropping Paca to anyone who holds LTX, Paca, or DAG. Now, Dagnum, when I asked him, kind of, how much we were going to get, I was trying to
Mm-hmm.
get him to give me some insider scoop or something. We follow each other. And, we've chatted before, direct messages and
You
whatnot. So
trying
I
to get that
actually,
Nancy Pelosi?
yeah, I'm trying to get that Nancy Pelosi action. And so yeah, he told me he wouldn't give me like an exact number, but he said it would be substantial. So do with that as you will.
Yeah.
But it looks like about 30% of this total airdrop will be going to the DAG ecosystem. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. I'm all for free money though. So,
Yeah.
and especially when the market's about to take off, and plus it's a it's a decentralized finance platform. So, hopefully I'll be able to use it on there to, contribute to liquidity pools or like Arrow, where you can lock it, get, a
Yeah.
liquidity token, and then use that to earn as well. And, it's just, that's the beauty of DeFi. So, anything to do with DeFi, I'm in.
It's
I'll touch
it's
on
life changing, man. The
it
power of
is.
DeFi. You know,
How's your
you're
DeFi
the
doing?
bank. It's good. It's back in range now. I wanted to wait because I felt like we weren't gonna dump that much more. So it was out of range yesterday, and I was like, oh, I'll just kind of wait for it, and if it
Mhm.
dumps another leg down, then I'll go back. But yeah, since I added to my position, it's been pumping out a lot more.
Yeah.
So
Well, Well, one thing that I find that works for me is making sure you're diversified. So,
mhm.
I try to make sure I'm in about. You don't want to be in too many, but 4 or 5. 4 or 5 good liquidity pools with good tokens. Like Arrow, like the ones I'm in are Wrapped ETH, USDC. Arrow, Coinbase Wrapped Bitcoin. I was in one that had Link in it, really good tokens. So, if they go
Yeah,
up and down and I end up, kind of having to hold them for a while, I wouldn't mind. It's not like there's some weird meme coin, but it seems like
mhm.
that, no matter what, something is always in range and always earning. So if one goes out of range, it's, not like you're not earning anything. There's always something, and like
Yeah,
one of them you'll be making like, 6 figure, or not six, 4 figure APR. One you might make it, be making like a 2 figure APR. You might be making 54%, while another one's making
yeah,
3,000, and then they'll switch. The one that was
yeah,
making you 3,000 is now making you 50, and it just does that every couple of minutes. And so when you're diversified and it's bouncing around, it really pays off. So anyway, just
yeah. And I see that because you can, even if you just take two different liquidity pools and have two positions in each one, and let's say you stagger the ranges
I
right here and right
Yep,
here, and you kind of catch
yep.
both of them, and you could be earning, if you're right in the middle, earning on both of them, it's fat.
Yeah. No,
So
no, I mean, no, that's
yeah,
like next level shit. Because I just figured that out. What was it? It was about a week or 2 ago. I was like, "What if I split, my I got almost 10 grand just in wrapped ETH and USDC." I was like, "What if I split that into 2 5 grand ones and staggered it like
Mm,
you're talking about?" So then it's like, if it's in that sweet spot, I'm
yeah,
earning, if it drops down, one of them might be out, but the other one's still earning. If it goes
yep,
up, it might go out of range of the bottom one, but it's still earning. And then if it keeps going up, then it's like, all right, then I'll rebalance this one and, and ladder them up,
yeah, yeah. Catching those
so
next levels and stuff. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So no matter what, it's almost like if you
Ooh,
have two, 7% ranges, if they're overlapped by, or we'll just say, 2 8, just for a good round number, and you have them like exact, basically, you would have it to where, you'd almost be what it'd be 8, 12, like 16. The total spread would be like, six. Well, I guess it'd be more like 12 because, the overlap of four.
yeah, the overlap.
So yeah. So like the overlap of 4% would make it a 12%, range, as opposed to just an 8% range, which is
Yeah.
a huge difference. Especially, something that performs as well as that pair has. All right. Well, I'll hit this
Yeah.
real quick, and then I want to turn it over to you.
And you don't
Um,
learn that stuff unless you're diving into this, at least experimenting, and um, it's valuable knowledge once you learn these little tricks and stuff. Because even I've been in this space for a long time, and the these DeFi tricks I haven't really explored too deeply until now. So it's good. We all got to get out of our comfort zones and explore what we.
Well, I'll be honest. I wanted to do DeFi forever, but like impermanent loss and all these things were like the boogeyman. And I was
Yeah.
just like, oh man, I don't want to lose all my bags. And I tried trading with a little bit of money, not much, but I lost money. I tried some other things, and pretty much other than staking, it's like I just I didn't have the knowledge to do it. And so I was just like, it'll just be another one of those. I'm just going to hold my bags until finally, like I said, I had some tokens that, I was like, you know what, I'll do a couple $100, and,
Mm-hmm.
started seeing like, $10, $20 a day that I was making. And I was like, all right, and so I got my little tracker sheet, built out my little tracker sheet that I use, this little bugger here. Um, and it basically where I can put in my, amount of, the tokens that I started with. So, however
Yep.
much wrapped ETH, however much USDC, whatever the price was, when I first entered the pool. And then just as it goes, I can put in, as it changes, as it's selling off one and buying the other, I can put it, those figures, the current price of each, any fees that I've earned, that kind of thing. And it just
Mm-hmm.
auto calculates and lets me know, is this profitable? Even after the impermanent loss, am I, making more money than I'm losing, or am I losing more money than I'm making? And then of course over here, I just have my tracker where I have my total that I have in that I'm doing the DeFi thing with, how much I
Mm-hmm.
have in my Aerodrome lock, and and then how much that I have in liquidity pools. And so yeah, basically I just track it, and you can see, I mean, it pumped and pumped and pumped, and then it kind of flattened out, and then this last little bit it dumped back down. So I'm just below 30K. I'm still even with this dump. I mean, I was my whole portfolio was probably I'd say just shy of 100K. And it's I have more in DeFi now than I did then, and my overall all portfolio is down like 20K. So I mean that shows you how
Yeah.
profitable DeFi is. I mean I've earned, even with this downturn, I still
Even
earned
going
almost
down.
$3,600. Because at one time I had almost 6 grand, 7 grand that I had earned this month. But yeah, it's actually, I think it was even more than that. Hold on. And I had 38K.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to earn
No, I had
even 3 grand more a month?
actually I had it was $10,578 that I had earned at the peak.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if I can get my DeFi, up another 8 grand, back to where it was, I'll be, I'll have like over $10,000 that I've earned, because I was earning, a couple, like, $100 a day sometimes, $200 a day sometimes, $300 a day sometimes. Doesn't seem like a lot, but do that over a
Yeah.
month, it does quite well. DFAT,
Yep.
if you use DFAT, you can come here
Yep.
and you can actually look at, your hourly rewards. Like right now, the APRs are super low, but you can go to daily rewards. Like even with these APRs as low as they are, that's still $50 a day. You can look at
Yeah. I
monthly
love
rewards. It's
VFAT has
still
been
50.
amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
it's still $1,500 a month, even with these low APRs. And then you look at the year, 18 grand a year. Even with how low these are right now, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they're up in 1,500%. You know, I'm making $18,000 a year just by borrowing out my bags that otherwise would just be sitting there. So
Yep.
yeah, if you're not doing DeFi, I would highly suggest you start looking into it.
Yeah. We've been dropping a lot of alpha on
Oh
it.
shit. There's one before I turn it over to
Ooh.
you, I want to hit this one thing.
Go for
So this isn't DeFi and it's not an airdrop,
it.
but I I I don't like necessarily pushing specific tokens. And by all means, do your own research. This isn't financial advice. There's been a rocky road for this project. I was telling people to DCA into it. At one time, it was 6 cents per token. It dipped down to less than a cent a token because of some
Hmm.
really bad news that came out, but ended up being really good news. And the project has, over the past couple of months, just like done leaps and bounds what it did, more than it did the past couple of years. So anyway, Casper is a do your own research on the tech. I don't want to get too deep into it. We don't. I don't
You
want.
talking
Don't
about
want
the
to be
friendly ghost?
the friendly ghost.
The
So
friendly blockchain.
basically, they just released an AI agent that will actually write DApps for you. So if you're not a coder and you have an idea for a DApp, you can actually tell it what you want to build, and it will build it for you. So
Mm.
kind of an interesting deal there. There's also a token that goes along with it that you can actually earn with. They also, MICA, if you don't know, was some legislation that was passed over in the EU for DeFi and TradeFi, and so basically Casper, they just launched their Casper 2.0, which upgraded the protocol in a lot of really cool ways. Again, do your own research, but um, what this does is it makes it compliant, which as crypto scales and adoption scales, and in different jurisdictions, if that blockchain wants to provide its service or its use case in that jurisdiction,
Mm.
it's going to have to be compliant with regulations. So it's important that blockchains have to the ability to be able to automatically be compliant. And then if, basically, if you build something for the EU, it's just automatically compliant there. If you launch it in the US, then the protocol will actually, be pre-programmed with whatever the rules and regulations are there. And as they evolve, it will
Hmm.
change. And so it, will ensure that whatever DApp or whatever DEX or whatever you build on that stays compliant and takes that
Fits
burden off
that
of you.
framework. Yeah,
Exactly. So it's super, super important. So anyway, with that, I will turn
that's
it over to
great.
you, bro.
No, that's a great point because you need the framework, and everyone kind of needs a little bit different. Like you need an overall framework. Oh, I did it again. There you go. It zoomed in.
You're
So
super fancy. You're super fancy
you,
Zoom.
yeah, you need an overall framework that covers everything. But then you have these nuances here and there for like DeFi or NFT marketplaces and all these different facets that will be introduced. Now, where's it at? I had it somewhere. Damn
Yeah,
it! I
Casper
lost the
actually had
tab.
a
I
nice.
had.
Well, Casper had a nice pump today too. It's up like almost 15%.
Do you show the chart while I try and find this tab? I was,
All right, now let's see. Let's.
Cause show where like the bottom, like how much it's pumped. Cause
You talking about Casper?
yeah, yeah. Cause you caught it.
Well, like I said, this is it's been a rough project. It launched at like $1.30. And like most projects, it dumped, but
Most.
it launched. And looking at this, you're like, this is a dead project. But you go to the year, and this is when the news hit. The bad news hit. and it was just this
Hmm.
steady down, just steady downtrend as people were selling off, and people like me were buying it up, and it got down here to like almost a half cent, and I backed the truck up. I bought as much Casper as I could. I actually have like almost a million tokens, and
Shit, nice.
and I have it delegated and have been, have had, my bag delegated, earning about 16% um, on Casper Live, and so I've earned, since I first started staking, about 100,000 of those tokens are, basically free tokens, and I would I would say, just from, using some basic math, looking at market cap, being very conservative as far as where it potentially could go. There's some people, giving the moon boy math and saying it's going to go to a dollar and $3 and all that.
Oh
I would
yeah.
say, I would say that, 20 to 50 cents is a solid target, because right now it's sitting at like number 300 by market cap. So, you can go to market cap of, and let's look at, let's say, just, I don't think it's going to be a top 10 or anything like that. Let's say if it gets the market cap of Cosmos, Atom. So let's go here and we'll say Casper, and we'll say Atom. So even if it got to 50, that would be at its current price. So let's actually do it at its all-time high. So that's
Hmm.
all-time high. That's a 57x. So that's almost a dollar. So even if it got to number 50, it potentially, could get, up to a dollar. That's why I say 20 cents to 50 cents. This could be a gem. And the
Ooh.
new guy that's running it now is actually the CTO. They're going decentralized, but the guy that
Hmm.
heads up, basically their chief technology officer, he's the one that's been engaging and doing interviews and all that sort of stuff. And since he took over, they have just been launching. People have been building and launching on Casper like almost daily, and the TVL has been going up. Everything is steadily going up. So
Hell
anyway,
yeah.
like I said, it's definitely something to take a look at. Um, I would definitely, have a little bit of a bag. It's, especially at these prices. Buying it at, one, 1.5 cents. If it goes to 20 cents, it's an easy 20x. So
Yeah, and
if you
that's
find it,
yeah. So
yeah,
it actually gave me a little bit more to dive into. So these projects, man, you just never know. And this is a perfect example, a perfect segue for the Pudgy Penguins. So let me go ahead and share this screen, man. And this is crazy because you talk about a project that was almost dead. The This man, Luca Netz,
they
um,
he's done a
bought.
really good job. Hannah, when she was on Blockchain Basement, she brought this up like
Yeah.
early on, and probably just because it was cute little penguins. But how she is. But
Yeah.
so anyway, yeah, they launched it and it almost died, and then I don't know exactly how, but a guy like took control of it, and he's the one that like launched the little, plushy toys at Walmart, and where you got like the little baby, pudgies or whatever, and
Yep.
basically it took off. And so yeah, I mean, this project is, it potentially could flip things like Bored Ape and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's, the floor activity, what was this? 2021. I mean,
Mhm.
the average price was point, it was under point zero 0.01 Ethereum. And then just over the years climbed. And this was a dead project that this guy Luca Netz paid like $1 million or a few $1 million for, and for the rights to this project and the NFTs, and now you're looking at these NFTs costing, well, before the airdrop they were $100,000, and now they're probably about 50K. But still, you're 60,000, for one of these. And they also have little penguins, the little
I,
pudgies.
I still want that one with the afro with the little pick in his fro. His little
Yeah.
fro pick. That's the one I want.
And then you got the little pudgies. I'm sad that the one that I had was
Oh
taken from
yeah, the
me.
wallet. Your wallet got hacked. That
But
is messed
oh
up.
man, so what happened was, now Pudgy Penguins, they just launched their airdrop. I'll kind of go over here to Luca Netz's thing. So you have to buy these penguins on the Ethereum mainnet. So it costs it costs a lot to buy these, not just the little penguins, but the pudgy penguin, like the big penguins. And gas fees can be expensive, and a lot of projects have decided not to launch their token on the Ethereum network because of high gas fees. One, when they launch the token, everybody goes to claim, drives the gas prices up. People are paying $50 to claim their fucking tokens, and it's a nightmare. So what they did here is allowed you to claim on Solana. They built a token, on Ethereum and Solana, and they did well, it helped me out, one, because it saved gas fees and stuff, and it helped me because I was able to get this out of my hacked wallet. And two, it's interesting because you get the people who were eligible for this were holders of the Pudgy Penguins, like the NFT collection, the little Pudgy Penguins, different Soulbound tokens, and also there was something about the Pudgy toys. So the physical items that you buy at Walmart were built on the Abstract chain, which this is a network that is launching their main network next month. And they're making it to where you won't need a traditional crypto wallet with the seed phrase and everything. It's like a global wallet that you'll have different verification ways of verifying and securing your wallet.
That's going to be huge because I'll be honest, like a huge part of crypto and crypto adoption is the user experience, UX, and the user interface and UI. So like a lot of people, they'll go to Coinbase and maybe buy some crypto, but they don't get into hot wallets, they don't get into cold storage, they don't get into any of that. They don't get into DeFi. They don't, because the barrier to entry is you got to be pretty tech savvy. So what you're talking about there, and making it a lot easier for somebody new to crypto like Coinbase has done a great job where like you can send crypto to somebody that has a Coinbase account using simply their email or their phone number. That was huge.
And it shows up, right? It shows up that it matches their account and everything, that it verifies.
Yes. And so it ensures it doesn't get sent into oblivion because you got like one number of phone number wrong. I actually the charter company down in Dominican Republic that me and my cousin are doing. I'm actually working it to where we're going to start accepting crypto, and just because, I mean, why not?
Yeah, it's smart. Start it now, and then you'd be at the forefront.
And here
find
we go.
Innovative ways to.
If I can, hold on, I'll screenshot this real quick.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like the year I'm making 100K a year off of my.
Oh shit! So that's what the return. Yeah.
That's the yearly. So because this jumped up to 972%, and my yearly reward it went up to like almost 100K.
Oh shit!
I wish I could lock that in. But anyway,
Oh man, if we can figure out how to get that during the bear market, holy shit,
oh yeah.
we'll be
Well,
set.
and actually, I'm going to make a note. I don't want to interrupt you again, but after you're
Oh, you're
done,
good.
I do want to talk really quick about a DeFi strategy for a bear market. Um,
Yes.
but no, sorry I interrupted. I just wanted to show that because I wanted to show the difference. Like because before it was $18,000 a year, and it
Mm-hmm.
went up from like 200% APR to just 920%, and it went from 18,000 a year to 100,000. So it shows there's a huge difference in the
Yeah.
APR, a couple of 100%. You might not seem like a lot, but it can
Over
be
time,
substantial.
compounding too, and you compound the rewards
Yep,
that you get into that, and it could make it even more. But that's
absolutely.
and don't think that you'll, and also don't get too euphoric when you see that number that's like 100K.
Yeah,
Just make sure, like, okay, and find a strategy that you can capitalize off of these market fluctuations where there is more volatility. If it whatever strategy that is, but that's the important part about getting your feet wet and getting involved, having skin in the game. You won't know and understand fully until you actually dive in and do it. And then you can,
exactly.
like,
And,
oh
and,
shit,
and
I
just
can,
just use a portion of your bag. You
yeah.
don't have to go all in. Like
Start with a hundred
I've
buck. Fuck.
yeah, I
If
mean,
you want.
I have 40% of my holdings, in there, but play with it. Like I said, diversify into different pools, and look at your overall APR. Is on
Mhm.
VFAT. It gives you your cumulative APR, and just dial it in to where you kind of have a nice little average where yeah, it's not 80% APR, and it might not be 4,000% APR, but if you can average like 400 or 500%, I mean that's huge. I mean the stock
Mhm.
market, a good year in the stock market is 10% for the whole fucking year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yep.
considered that's considered a solid investment in the stock market.
It's
So
an insane return.
yeah. So all right, back to
Oh,
the pudgies.
okay. So yeah, physical items like the toys that you bought can claim Pengu tokens. So you can claim actual Pudgy Penguin tokens just by buying the physical item, which is cool. And how many other projects are going to be incorporating stuff like this? And it's not just this, but what was it that I sent you? Uh, let me see if I can find it. The Fortnite thing right
Oh
here,
yeah,
Pudgy
yeah,
Penguins Hub and Fortnite. So they're collaborating with popular games
yeah.
and stuff. So and this is just Pudgy Penguins. How many other projects will take this and run with it, and it helps integrate people and familiarize them with Web3 and crypto. It's not just NFTs are a scam, but you can use them. You probably have special access for NFT holders in this game. I'm sure everybody can play it, but what I would think is have Pudgy Penguin or Little Penguin holders give them special access to stuff in the game, and that would be another incentive. Just certain ways of adding value and use case and utility instead of just a fucking picture that you put in your profile.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the cool thing is those of you that are new to all this, NFTs, these cartoon pictures and stuff like that, they're not even though that people are paying ridiculous amounts of money for them, that they're
Yeah.
not the future of NFTs. The future of NFTs. So like whenever you do, it's called a non-fungible token. Whenever you
Yeah.
do DeFi, the way it's recorded, the amount that you put in, and your claim to that part of the pool, is annotated in the ledger with an NFT.
Yep.
NFTs. He was just talking about Fortnite.
And if you want to transfer it too, because
Yes,
normally
whenever
you
you
couldn't just transfer a position that you had at the bank. If it's locked up, you have to go through all these steps and everything to unlock it,
and it
transfer
and
it.
you got to wait
And
for
this,
people to do it manually. And
yep.
but what you were just talking about with Fortnite, where anybody that hasn't played Fortnite, it's a free game, but you have to
Mm-hmm.
buy things. Like if you want like the really cool weapons and the cool outfits and the dance moves and all that stuff, you have to buy those. And so what games are going to do is when you buy those, they will potentially will be NFTs. So you will actually own those. And if a new Fortnite game comes out or another game that allows the porting or the moving, like Jeff was just talking about, of those NFT weapons or outfits, like say you play Call of Duty, and Call of Duty and Fortnite are on the same chain, or there's cross chain compatibility. You can move those, off the grid, just launched on AVAX. You can move those dance move NFTs, the outfits, the weapons over to
Mm-hmm.
that other game. And as other games come out, you could basically have a collection, and they could go up in value. Like if they're really
Yep.
old retro, things, and somebody wants to collect that, it's just like a baseball card or anything else. It's a digital ownership of that. So anyway,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I'll dive into that. There's even more like a deeper use case for the NFTs and stuff. But I'll finish up with this because this was really really cool. So not only did they honor holders of the ecosystem project or the ecosystem NFTs, and also these soulbound tokens. So even though I didn't have my little pudgy anymore because it was stolen, I had what's called a soulbound token, where it's an NFT that was, or a token that can't be transferred at all. It's bound to your wallet no matter what. And this was because I did it the day before they cut off the requirement or the deadline, and it was taking one of your little pudgy penguins and moving them from the Ethereum network to another layer two, like Arbitrum or Optimism or something. And they granted you with a soulbound token. And when I did this, I was eligible for, I think that's what this one is. So the Poly Explorer, I got 103,000 tokens, and right now Pudgy is at 3 cents, so that's $3,000 just for moving an NFT from one blockchain to another. I got
that's huge.
103,000 of these tokens, and I did have to pay like $70 to bridge that because of the gas fees, and it didn't go through the first time, so I lost 70 something dollars, and I
That
was so
sucks.
pissed, and so I had to do it again. And I was sitting here clenching my ass like, please go through. But it ended up being worth it because I was able to claim this out of the wallet that got hacked. I woke up at fucking 5 in the morning to 4:30 to make sure I had my computer set up and everything, and so I'm still fucking getting up and trying to fight to save my fucking wealth, man, because this is hard work, a lot of hard work, and being able to get this back is huge. I literally cried after I fucking got this. I was like, thank God this asshole did not get more of this.
I refuse personally to use the mainnet of Ethereum. If I don't care how great the project is, like the
Yeah,
only way that I will use anything Ethereum is if it's on the base network, because it costs pennies. Like I'll
yeah,
use Wrap ETH. I'll use,
pennies.
yeah. It's like I refuse to use anything mainnet.
Yeah, yeah, it's a nightmare. And that is going to be a perfect segue into Celestia. So Celestia is building the what it, data availability. I was mumbling over it earlier. Um, so Celestia is going to be at the forefront of how to efficiently build blockchains. So essentially, data availability um, answers the question: has the data for the blockchain been published? And is it critical to the security of any blockchain? And so right now we have Ethereum, which just everything is on one layer, right? All the transactions and stuff. So when it gets congested, think of it being on the highway. You have one lane, everybody's on one lane,
Yeah.
especially here in the Bay Area, you're fucked. You're not going anywhere. So having more lanes to allow traffic to flow faster is essentially what this is doing. So this can break up blockchains and allow them to become light nodes or light clients to where you can use your cell phone to validate a node on the blockchain or validate transactions. You know,
Can
you
you
can
earn from
have.
that?
So this is where the NFTs come into play because
Is
they
that
have
is that frog on top of the woolly mammoth?
no the mammoths, the mammoths, the mammoths. And so first, like, let me go back to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so data availability sampling is a new primitive that enables these light nodes to verify all this data efficiently. And so you have, like, let's take your phone, my brother's phone, and they take pieces of the blockchain or they validate transactions separately, right? And then they bring them together, put it on the blockchain, and everything's still going smoothly. Transactions are not being held up. The fees are low. And this is what is holding Ethereum back and what is going to make stuff like Celestia just explode. Um, and you can take, I don't know how they do it. They program it in using their whatever code that they use. Let's see, and they built it into these NFTs, right? Called the mammoths.
Yeah.
And this is, and I'm just learning about this because I was like, what the hell are these mammoth NFTs?
That
And
mammoth
this,
with the blue hair and the spikes on his tusk probably is
yeah.
the they them.
Oh yeah, it's that's the lib mammoth,
That's
the
the they them
lib,
mammoth.
the they them,
The they myth.
the they myth. And man, I've been on this marketplace Modularium. It was developed as my mouse is freaking out. Um, Developed by Formachain, which was built using Celestia and their data availability. And they have this NFT marketplace called Modularium, where all these different works of art have been minted. And I bought like one of these, one of these. It was earlier this year when I found out about them, and it was just like these three. So the floor price of this was like 40 Celeste, 40 Tia at the time, and now it's
Yeah.
like 220. So that's like $800 right there. Tia's at $4 and some change. So there's, and it's not just NFTs, like they're interactive. Like this one, they have different sounds with this synth. So each one is different, has like a different sound that goes with it, right? Oh wait, I'm on. I don't know if you can hear it.
I can hear it.
Yeah. Yeah. So all these NFTs, right? They have stuff embedded in them that makes them different, than just traditional NFTs. Let me share this page again. And I thought it was unique because it wasn't just a traditional profile pic. This one actually will change depending on the price fluctuation of the TIA token. so his mood changes when the price goes up or down. So it's like a weird interactive, thing. And I thought these were cool. And over time, they had more. The Celestine Sloths is a big community on the in the Cosmos ecosystem,
Oh,
and
well,
they're
I'll be honest. I got scared away from Tia because I
mm,
when I looked when it first was going to come out,
the
like Drew,
unlock.
well, Drew was talking about it a bunch, and I think he keyed in on it because his wife's name is Tia, so he calls her Tia. And I was looking at it, and Drew does some good picks. Him, Isaac, and the guys there. They pick some good ones. But I looked at the tokenomics, and there was like a huge amount. I think that was owned by the devs, or there was a huge
Mm,
unlock. I forget exactly what it was, but there was something that made it to where I was like, I don't think I'm going to get into that. But surprisingly, it's done pretty
mm.
well.
Yeah, yeah, and there's going to be a lot of that, and you have to I forget what the coin rank. Do they have the token unlocks, or there's some powerful token unlock platform that you can check all that. And also, yeah, if there's a lot of devs holding, it can dump the price. But that was about a year ago or so, a little over a year
Yeah,
ago, I
no,
think.
no, it's long since passed. I just when I looked at it.
And
So there's crypto rank.
Sue, Sue, SUI. When that came
Oh,
out, there was a
oh, Sui
whole thing about that, and
or
it
Sui.
it kept me away because like there, I forget what it was, the devs dumping or something, but it you'll have these projects where things kind of look shady, and that's why it's always good to let the dust settle. Wait 6 months to a year, and if they're still floating around and haven't had anything super crazy, and they're still building, check them out again and reassess. It's always good to
Here,
reevaluate. Yeah, go for it.
real quick, I'll share this real quick. So this is CryptoRank.io, and it has the circulating supply, and it has the next unlock.
Mm.
And so it looks like the next unlock. Oh, today,
Oh, nice.
if I'm reading this right, so it looks like 995,000 tokens are unlocking today, but that's only 0.09% of total supply. So it looks like there's 1 billion TIA. And so right now it's about 42.5% of the total supply. So there's still, 57.5, of the supply, yet to be released.
Mm.
So yeah, no,
Yeah,
there's definitely platforms out there that when you're kind of doing your due diligence, looking into the tokenomics and the different data points, the fundamentals of these projects, I highly suggest do not invest in these things based off things that I say, that anybody that you see on social media or on YouTube and
yeah,
stuff, influencers, never buy a token solely based off of what we're saying. Do your own due diligence. I highly suggest that you develop like a checklist of everything from
yeah.
tokenomics to basic fundamentals. Is the team doxed? Is do is it a what do they call that, a fair launch? Is it a
Oh,
fair
fair.
launch?
Yeah.
There's a
Yep.
lot of different things that you should look at and make sure it ticks those boxes before you consider, putting any real money into it because it's going to make it less risky for you. But
Yeah.
back to you, Jeff.
Yeah. Very important tips. Very important tips.
Mhm.
But yeah, as I was so over the past like 6 to 8 months, I think each one of these pieces of work, pieces of NFTs would be released, and they would be like you can mint them from what 0.2 TIA to like 1 TIA token. So it wasn't a lot that I would invest, $5 here and there. And this is just to get some skin in the game. I didn't know what these were going to turn into, and I did it in 2 wallets. So now, flash forward, I was eligible for this mammoth mint, right? Because I minted or held some of these previous collections, and I paid, was that less than $5 for 0.75 TIA to mint one of these, and right now it's sitting at 350 TIA floor,
Nice.
and that's literally like,
That's some good ROI.
yeah. And I could have had all that loss, and so I'm not selling right now. It's crazy because I'm like, damn, that's thousands of dollars that I could just, even in my secondary wallet, I could sell that. But the thing is, they have launched their own AI agent.
Mm.
And especially now that I've learned that each one of these NFTs is essentially like you're you're a light client node on the blockchain, validating transactions. And you might not get the rewards immediately like you do with staking, like on Aerodrome, but there are projects that are on the Celestia that use Celestia and their data availability, that are going to reward users that hold these NFTs. And you have, Tusk the Mammoth is their AI agent, and they are dropping an airdrop this week. I don't know it. The token is like all community. It's a community focused token, so completely fair launched, 100% supply for the community. For the bonding curve, burnt LP tokens, 5% for the Mammoth airdrop. And, who knows what it'll be, but this is their AI agent, which is an important thing to have if you're going to be, going forward. Utilizing AI is going to be important. And with this, like Celestia, the project itself has been shilling this. And they actually, even before the Mammoths mint happened, they posted this, and it's their Mammothon in February. So the people behind this project, the Celestine Sloths, which is a big project in the Cosmos ecosystem, and they're backing and supporting this Mammoth project, and it really made me think about NFTs in a different way. You're if you can validate transactions on the blockchain at a much faster rate just by utilizing NFTs to distribute, that blockchain space, have people pay, for an NFT $4 or $5 here, and you see what the value is now, and that one is partly due to community, community hype, pumping it up. Like the Pudgy Penguins, it was community hype, and that's important. You want to build a solid foundation with the community, and then show like use case and utility. It's an unstoppable combination.
Real quick, talking about about community and what your comment about Hawk Tua going straight to jail.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hold on. Let me. For some reason, it didn't do the sound. All right, here we go. There we go.
To come in to take the protesters away. Where are they? This kind of behavior is never tolerated in Baracua. You shout like that, they put you in jail right away. No trial, no nothing. Journalists, we have a special jail for journalists. You're stealing, right to jail. You're playing music too loud, right to jail, right away. You're driving too fast, jail. Slow, jail. You're charging for sweaters, glasses, you right to jail. You undercook fish, believe it or not, jail. You overcook chicken, also jail. Undercook, overcook. You make an appointment with the dentist and you don't show up, believe it or not, jail, right away. We have the best patients.
had to touch on that because
Everything.
the hot tour comment where because yeah, it's that. I mean, the reason I brought that up was you're talking about community, and really that's all memes are is community.
Hmm.
It's there's a lot of memes out there. There's tens of thousands of memes, and a very small percentage get traction. But and
Yeah.
there's some that start out as memes and evolve into more. They evolve into huge communities that build DeFi projects and do all kinds of stuff. But
Yeah. Yeah. Doge, Sheeb, all that. It's um well, now even Barachain, they started
oh,
as a
yeah.
meme, and now they're this whole fucking layer one blockchain that they're building out, and I think they're launching next month. So you just don't know, man. We're in the wild, wild west, and seeing the innovation and things develop the way they are is great. Seeing what will stick and what won't. There's a lot of airdrops that I've been a part of where the projects just kind of fizzled out, but I've gotten pretty substantial airdrops from them. But yeah, who knows what the future will hold with these? But this is something to keep an eye on when thinking about NFTs. It's not just traditional, like, this is important, not just the data availability, sharing blockchain space, breaking it into little fragments and having people process it. And you don't have to have your phone on or anything. You just hold that NFT and it does everything for you on the back end. It's hard coded in there, and that and the DeFi, earning rewards from that NFT that you have staked, and also being able to transfer that NFT to another wallet if you want, or if you want to gift it to somebody, like, hey, I want to give this as a Christmas gift, my DeFi position. So it makes it a lot easier, than having somebody that would have to go through the whole process, like, oh, I need to get the tokens and stake them and do all this and that. But if you have a DeFi position where you can just put it in a liquidity pool, not have to worry about changing the levels at all. So what the automated market maker pools, where you just set it and forget it, you could send that to grandma and or your niece and nephew, and have them sit on that for their college tuition or whatever. Yeah.
I
Fuck,
thought
man.
that actually I never really thought of that. I mean, I know that when I moved some of my liquidity pool NFTs from Aerodrome to VFAT and that sort of thing, but I never really thought of that. Yeah, you can you could have set up like if you have a non-tech savvy grandparent like you were talking about that doesn't know how to do DeFi, you could set them up a wallet, basically, put money in there for them and, set it up to where it auto harvests into, the wallet in
Yeah.
USDC. And, every month, that gets, you could have it to where it's, sent to Coinbase, and, into their account there and give them a
Oh,
card
yeah. Yeah.
and they could actually go out. So, I mean, if you had a
Fuck.
grandparent that wanted to be independent, you could set it up to where they could earn, yield off of, a portion of their savings or whatever, or, something that you set up for them. And, they could use it to buy their groceries, or they could use it to, keep gas in their car or pay their bills or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. God, man. Yeah. Or the college tuition, you set up I don't know. Could you do that on a ledger? Could you send like an NFT from base onto the ledger like that? One of those from Aerodrome? That would be.
I mean, I would have to like actually try it, but from Aerodrome, basically the NFT is stored in my Coinbase
uh
wallet. And so basically I should be able to send that NFT to somebody else's Coinbase wallet.
yeah.
And
Although
if
you would
it's
have
as long
to assign that to VFAT though? You would have to register the ledger on VFAT in order to do the auto compounding and harvesting and stuff too. So that would be
Well, no, because if you set up it should, whenever you set up the auto harvest and stuff like that, you have to sign, and so it modifies that smart contract. And so basically, all of those are settings that should be in that NFT. And so whenever you send it, all of that should already be set up.
Okay. Okay.
Like I said, until I do it, I can't be sure. But in my
Okay.
mind, that's how it would work. Because, like I said, like whenever I have a liquidity pool on VFAT and I go and I set up auto harvest, I have to sign that transaction, saying that it's okay to do that.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe just the initial, that one-time transaction, and then you have to. Okay. Yeah.
Well, IMJ is saying as long as it's an ETH chain, I think it could. Honestly, I think it's any chain that has smart contracts.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you could set up your kid or niece or nephew with a ledger and just say, hey, lock this up for 15 or 18 years and have it auto compound just a little bit, and they could be a college fund.
Well, as this evolves, it's the ability to do more nuanced smart contracts. You could actually lock it. Look on Airdrops.
Oh yeah, true.
That lock arrow, you could throw a crypto into a lock, and instead of having it a max of 4 years, you could say you want it to be for 12 years. While they're going through their primary school, and it only unlocks when they turn 18. And so you could just be putting Bitcoin or whatever else in there. And it doesn't unlock until they're 18 because of the smart contract.
Hey, what's that going to do with divorce? When you have couples who have their crypto together and it's like, sorry, bitch, it don't unlock for another 4 years.
Honestly, that's a good question. I mean,
oh shit.
No, I mean it really is. It's
Damn.
Like
your assets are going to be split, and you're going
would that locked smart contract, would that have to go into escrow? Would you have to transfer that NFT or smart contract to some kind of escrow, and that whenever it unlocks, they separate it to each of you.
Hey, if anyone wants to become a crypto divorce lawyer or expert, you might want to look into this, because that might be a good. You could set up your own fucking DAO to where it holds the assets and escrow and shit. There we go.
Well, and for a percentage of of it when it unlocks, it might not be a whole lot of money now, but
talk to your brother about this, man.
Yeah, I might need to go to law school.
See, that's what's great about doing these, man. You get to oh shit, we can use crypto for so many amazing things. It's the thoughts are endless. Okay. I didn't really have a whole lot else on the airdrop stuff. I did have, maybe one more. So Odos is kind of like a token bridge or token swap project. And they did an airdrop recently, and Aerodrome, they actually have a liquidity pool on Aerodrome. And Aerodrome actually made a post on this too, so it's not just some random crypto project. So they do have some backing, and thankfully I was able to claim some of this from my hacked wallet too.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, so you can swap one token into multiple tokens, or swap multiple tokens into one token. So it's kind of, it's on different layer twos.
So you can actually, instead of just doing a one asset for one asset, you can say I have a bunch of USDC and I want to get
Hmm.
some of this, some of this, some of this, some of this, and it will swap to all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't, I don't know how many tokens it has available. Yeah. So I could select, different rep E, I think up to 5. Oh, 6. And right here, you can swap. I don't have a lot in. Yeah, but essentially, you can swap into one token from multiple tokens. So it's really cool. You can set limit orders too. That's a little bit more advanced feature. I don't really do, but they just launched their airdrop, and I thought it'd be cool to share because Aerodrome does have a liquidity pool. I think it's at I think Odos is at 3 cents or so right now, but where's the pool? Yeah, it was like 9,000% APY or APR.
Yeah.
But I thought about adding some into the liquidity pool, but the token price doubled like the next day. So I was like, I'm just going to wait until this volatility kind of calms down and go into that. But so I don't use Odos a lot. One thing I do use is Jumper Exchange, which is a token bridge or swap. You can swap between different blockchains, even Solana. And yeah, there's a lot. But Jumper will actually use different outlets to find you the cheapest route to bridge. So if I wanted to bridge from Base, like Ethereum, over to Arbitrum, it'll find you different routes that you can take, how long they'll take, the time. And one of these was Odos, because even though Odos doesn't, I don't know if it allows you to swap across blockchains just on the same network, but Jumper, you can swap on the same network. So you can swap across blockchains and also on the same one. And it'll utilize different swap exchange or decentralized exchanges that allow token swaps. And Odos was one of them. So not only do I get interactions with Jumper, but it routes you through other projects that you can get interactions with as well. So you're kind of killing two birds with one stone, and you're getting XP on the Jumper platform, just making swaps and bridges, and you're getting all these other interactions, which is really cool if you're not necessarily trying to airdrop hunt, but you're just exposing your footprint across different projects. So you might end up getting something you didn't expect. Like that's what happened with me in the Pyth token. I got 5,000 Pyth token airdrop just because I was an active user on Solana network, Ethereum L2s, and it was just like, oh, we're going to reward you for this. And even the Pudgy Penguins, it says OG Solana users. So anybody who used Solana blockchain before a certain time frame would give you, a certain amount of tokens. So projects are looking for valued users, people who are just using the blockchain. So it's all I can say is dip your toes in, even if you're just spending a few dollars here and there. It's important to get some interactions, learn how to use it. I would say, use less than $10 if you're going to be experimenting, just so you're comfortable with losing that much and not hundreds of dollars. But dip your toes in, make some transactions.
It's always a good idea to do a test transaction. So
Yeah.
real quick, I am Jay. Thanks for bringing this up. It's I made a note here and I almost forgot about it. So my plan, as the
Hmm.
the bull market, edges on, here and when I start to ladder out, what I'm going to be laddering out into is going to be stables. And probably what I'll end up doing is, I'll keep a little bit in DeFi, but most of what I'm gonna, do is just do nothing but stables because I am going to redeploy. So I'm gonna do
Hmm.
DeFi after kind of somewhat confirmed. I'm gonna ladder back in, but as it looks like that, we're definitely, at the end of the bull market and going into the downward slide of the bear. Um, what I'll probably end up doing is there's a technique. I don't know if that's the right word, but for lack of a better word, there's a technique where I can put my stables into basically lend them out and earn like just maybe 20% APR. Nothing crazy, but they're earning.
Hmm.
But because I have those in there, I can borrow against them. And so since they're stable coins, it's pretty safe. It's not like I'm going to get liquidated because a stable coin isn't going to go down. However, I'll probably only borrow like maybe 30% off of it. So if I have $100,000, I'll borrow $30,000. I'll buy a a token, say we'll say Sol. I'll buy $30,000 worth of Sol. I'll immediately convert that into stables. So I'll borrow Sol, convert it into stables, so it locks in that value.
Hmm.
Whenever you borrow, say for a round number, say that that $30,000 is 1,000 Sol. You only have to pay back 1,000 Sol. It doesn't matter how much the Sol's worth. So because I borrowed 1,000 Sol, locked it in at whatever price that was, as the price of Sol drops, then I'm holding stables. I'm not holding Sol anymore. So as that drops, I can pick a point that it's kind of like shorting. I can pick a point to where I want to use those stables, buy myself 1,000 Sol, pay back that loan, and keep whatever's left over. And of the stable, the stables that are left. So I'll basically be
Hmm.
earning on the way down as well. And then once we're definitely in the depths of the bear market, I'll probably get it, take a portion of my portfolio and put it back into DeFi, but do things like AMMs, things that I'm not too worried about things dipping too hard or those sorts of things. Single
Hmm.
sided lending out stable coins, things like that, but probably only like 20 or 30% because those of you that went through this last bear market, was it Celsius? Was a DeFi
Yeah.
platform that went under, and there's no insurance on these platforms. So if they go under, they take your assets with them. So keep that in mind. When you're using these DeFi platforms, especially in the bear market. Um,
Hmm.
me personally, I think Aerodrome has a really good chance of being able to weather the cycles, because BlackRock and Coinbase is backing them, and then also because they don't have a ton of overhead. Um, all of the revenue that's generated from the platform goes back to the VE Arrow holders, so the
Hmm.
people that have locked Arrow. So only a small portion is kept for the developers and things like that. So it's a different model. It's not as much as a for profit as things like Celsius and whatnot.
Yeah, and
Uniswap.
that's great, man. And rewarding the users who are. I mean, it's you want it to be decentralized as much as possible, and that will. That's exactly what you want. You're voting on where the resources go, like which liquidity pools you want to see the rewards go to, and it's it's great to see the power of DeFi. Hold on.
And and there's a lot of really good info out there. Again, I am still learning. I mean, I've only been doing this for what a month and a half, 2 months. So please don't take everything that I say as gospel. I'm testing these things out. I'm trying them out. That it's working so far. There's actually really quick before I turn it over for your kind of closing, unless you have anything else.
Oh, he froze. Are you frozen? He'll be back momentarily. He froze for a second.
Yeah. So this guy here, this Crypto Labs Research DeFi passive income, I have learned a ton from this guy. And he's very conservative, just as I am. Not into high risk plays. A lot of what he preaches is making 50 or 80% are. A lot of these things that we've been showing are like 1,500% APR and things like that. He's all about slow and steady. And he's very transparent, like I try to be. He shows losses, he shows his wins, he shows how much money he has, of his own money invested. So I tend to take him very seriously, because a lot of people, a lot of influencers will give you all this great advice, but they won't show how much money they have personally invested. Everyone's very secretive about it. And to me, I'm like, you know what? If you're trying to hype me some, project, or trying to tell me, do this to make money, and you're not going to show me that you're making money doing it, I'm going to take that with a grain of salt. And that's why here on this channel, we try to be very transparent and actually show, hey, this is what I have in. Here's my spreadsheet, that I use to track my gains and losses. It's like I have no problem showing this. I mean, I've been, from the middle of November is when I started, but this month I started the month out with, a little, about 27,422. With this dip, I'm down to 29,857. But at one point I was at 38K. Whenever Bitcoin was at like 106K, and everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but the thing is with DeFi is I still own all those tokens, and I've actually, because I've been, earning a couple $100 a day, I've actually plussed up my tokens at, and at lower prices. Like I said, I bought some Morpho, I bought more Ondo, I bought more Arrow. So when things go back up, I'm going to have, even if they hit the same levels they were before, I'm going to have, probably $40,000, because the $1,000, $2,000 that I bought at these lower prices is, going to be worth a couple of grand when things go back up. So, that's the beauty of DeFi, is you can harvest your earnings into stables, USDC and things like that, because this isn't the last dip that we're going to see this bull market. There's going to be 30% or more pullbacks. After big pumps, it's going to pull back, and then it will pump, and it will pull back, and it will pump. If you look at the other cycles, it's how it always works. I won't pretend to know when that's going to be. There's smarter people than me to listen to for that. But having some dry powder on the side, having some a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 in USDC sitting on the side, and and I'll show you what I use. I use this. So I have USDC Arrow. And I usually have, I just got done deploying it, but I usually have a liquidity pool that's USDC, USDT. And so it's two stables that I am earning. So actually, if I'll go to the farms, USDC, USDT. So right here, there's a couple of them. So this one, it's actually earning 278% right now. So you could, and pancake
Yeah.
swap, you could put that in there and be earning and waiting for the dip. So, all of these that I have earning, these earned rewards each day, I could have those, harvesting into USDC, USDT, and I can actually increase, every time I harvest them, I can increase that liquidity pool. So if I was in this liquidity pool, every day I can harvest and I can just add to that liquidity pool. That's the great thing about VFAT. And then when we get these dips, whatever I have in there, it's like, all right, what am I buying? Everything's on sale. What am I buying? It's a
Yeah.
really great way to have some money off to the side to where you don't have to sell any of your bags, and you don't want to sell at a loss. But all of
Yeah.
these you're earning as everything's pumping. All those earnings, you're peeling them off, peeling them off, peeling them off. It dips, you buy. It starts pumping. You peel it off, peel off, peel off. It dumps, you buy. And it's a great way to DCA in. So I'll end it
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. And I know it's definitely helped me a lot because the rewards give me, and I'll hold some of it, but I'll also use a portion of the arrow that I earn to, farm out other airdrops because it's almost,
Yeah.
it's like generating, revenue for me and utilizing that for other
Dude,
airdrop hunting
anything
stuff
you can
is.
do to make your money make money, it's like
Mm-hmm. Oh
you
yeah.
yeah. If you're compounding,
Mm-hmm.
your earnings. If you earn $500, you take that $500 and you farm airdrops, and you
Yeah.
put it in the liquidity pools, and you do all these different things, and that makes money. It's almost
Yeah.
like rabbits. You have two
Yeah.
rabbits, and they have sex, and they have 12 rabbits, and then all those rabbits have sex, and they each have 12 rabbits. And
Yep.
it's just like, think
Yep.
of your money like rabbits. Make them rabbits fuck.
Make them rabbits. The fucking money, man. The fucking money.
Yeah, it makes some buck money. You know what I'm saying?
Make some fuck money. Oh, so I wanted to bring something up because KJM was asking about the where was it at?
Swap and bridge.
Oh, the swap and bridge and find the lowest gas fees. So the one that I showed, Jumper, it's good, but so when you're bridging any funds, if you need to use the Ethereum network for anything, and you need to send Ethereum to mainnet, you can see right here, this will cost you $8.74 to send $2 over to Ethereum from base. So you don't necessarily want to do that, especially when it costs more for the transaction than what you're sending. So one of my favorites is gas.zip. And this is built using layer 0. And as you can see, you can go from any one of these networks, these blockchains, and you can only bridge over the native token for gas fees. That's why it's gas.zip. You're not going to bridge over USDC or DAI stablecoin. It's whatever token you're paying the transaction fees for that network, like Ethereum on layer 2s, AVAX on Avalanche. That's what you'll be sending. So if I wanted to send Ethereum to the Ethereum network from a layer 2, like I said right here on Jumper, it'll cost you almost $9. And if you go to gas.zip, the same amount, $2, right? It costs little to nothing. Here's the, I don't have so here's the little transaction thing, and move, you can't see it, but the fee is pennies. I can't move myself out of the way. but the fee is like less than a penny, right? To send $2 over to the Ethereum network, where it cost me almost $9 on Jumper. So if you need to bridge over anything to Ethereum, or even just moving Ethereum over to other chains at all, this is like immediate. You can only bridge over like between $2 and $50, but it's a great way to get to top up on gas for transaction fees at little to no cost. So this has been my go-to. If I need to do any transactions on Ethereum and I need gas, I just top it up right here, and it doesn't cost me a fucking thing. So this is so powerful. I love this thing because you don't want to pay fucking $9 to send a token over, man. That's fucking highway robbery.
No, absolutely. All right. Well, I'll do my.
But there you go.
Yes, I'll do my closing thoughts real quick, and then I'll turn to you for your closing thoughts. So this is a project that if you haven't, I would look into it. So it's called Ondo. Like I said, it's not too often that I talk about a specific project that, but Ondo they're backed by BlackRock. BlackRock has already started tokenizing, some of their offerings using Ondo. And Binance has been buying up, and transferring Ondo. This is from Not Telling. He posted this today. Binance has been buying up and transferring around a lot of Ondo as of late. It is sometimes a precursor to a listing. And as anybody that's been in crypto for a minute knows, whenever there is a listing, there's usually a pump that follows because it gives more people access to that token. So, a lot of these new projects, you have to be pretty savvy to get in super early because there's a lot of these little, using wallets and, going to certain, places to where you can buy it that are really obscure and hard to use. And then as there's more TVL and, there's more volume, then, larger and larger, centralized exchanges will list them, and that allows people that are less tech savvy to be able to buy it. So, whenever people see on social media and they haven't been in crypto and they see like Sheev or Doge or something like that, the first thing they do is they go to Coinbase, they go to Binance, they go to all these places. Where can I buy it? And if they can't buy it there, most of them give up. So the fact that Binance potentially is looking at listing it is huge. There is still a lot of upside left in Ondo. And I honestly think that, here's another thing from Not Telling, going to connect the dots for you a little bit more as we get closer to the launch of Ondo Global Markets on February 6th. That's another event, buy the rumor, sell the news kind of event. We know Ondo is backed by Founders Fund, which is Peter Thiel's VC fund. That's a huge backer. An article just dropped saying Robinhood wants to be a tokenization pioneer. So those that don't know, Robinhood is a platform where you can buy and sell stocks and select cryptos. So, stocks, bonds, things like that can be tokenized. Right before the launch of Ondo Global Markets, Robinhood app wants to lead the space. Peter Thiel, Ondo, Robinhood, buying and selling tokenized stocks via Ondo Global Markets. Ondo provides the infrastructure and tech, and Robinhood provides the customer base. This is something that potentially would be a huge use case. It's what Ondo focuses on is tokenization of real world assets, real estate, art, gold, silver, precious metals, pretty much any physical asset. It makes it more liquid. So the great thing about this is it would allow those things to be bought, sold, traded, those sorts of things 24/7, 365.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if the markets are open or closed. Real
Yep.
estate. If I wanted to tokenize my property here, it would ensure that that somebody couldn't do title theft. So it's a
Yeah.
huge issue. People can go to the county offices and they can file fake documents saying that I sold them the property. They can take out a bunch of loans on it, and by the time I start getting 90-day late notices and I'm getting foreclosed on, somebody took out a bunch of loans on my property without me knowing. It's a thing, and
Yeah.
so being able to tokenize and lock your property's ownership is going to be a big thing, and Ondo is one of the front runners in this tokenization. So I'll use that as my my
Yeah.
closing statements. It's something that you might want to look into. I'm huge into use cases. I'm huge into
Mm-hmm.
utility and and fundamentals. Most of my holdings are based on that. I don't do meme coins. I don't do speculation. I like to try to mitigate my risk. But anyway,
No, that's
to you, sir.
great. Great tips. Great tips. And especially with what they're doing, um, taking real world assets. I guess like a lash in my eye. But that's what you want. It's okay to dabble in the meme coins if you want to just throw away $100. But if that's what you're into, but having stuff like these real world assets, Ondo, and also like my closing, since we're on the airdrop, we'll finish with the airdrop. Mario Nawfal posted this earlier. He has a pretty long 30-minute interview with Luca Netz, the man behind the, I guess, revamp of the Pudgy Penguins. And they kind of dive into, the listing and the real world assets, just all kinds of different tips. If you want to learn more about the Pudgy Penguins and the whole roadmap, check this one out. But they are, and they're at Target now too. So they have toys in Walmart and Target. And go buy one of these penguins and see if you can. I'll probably go buy one, and just to do a video. Like, I want to buy one of these penguins and claim this Pengu token. So that way I can see like how the process is of taking a real world item and claiming, a crypto token or tokenizing it, because I'm sure stuff like this, you'll have like a QR code or something that you can input for the. Now that would also, and how would you keep people from stealing the QR codes from all these stuffed animals too? So that would be another thing. If people at Walmart just scanning all the QR codes to claim the token, So
Yeah.
how would you? Yeah. So these are all things that, man, so much to think about. Fuck.
No,
All this-
but you're right. You're right though. It's these are all things you got to think about. Because as this technology evolves, there's going to be pain points. There's going to be a learning
Yeah.
curve. There's you know, it's and with those pain points, as with any business, there's the successful projects in crypto are going to be the ones that address those and fix those. Like we were talking about with transferring crypto. One of
Yeah.
the big pain points was those complicated addresses. The public keys, that in the wallet addresses that you had to use to move it, and people would send it to the wrong address or have one letter or number wrong, and it goes into oblivion. And so there's a lot of these projects like the ones that you talked about that they are fixing these pain points. So it's a really great way to find projects that are
Yeah.
going to have legs for a long time. Google, perfect example.
Yeah.
Search engine. Yahoo had the market share for a long time. They got way too complicated. They had the news and they had tickers and they had all kinds of shit all over the fucking search page,
Yeah.
and it was confusing. And Google came out and was just like Google search bar, done.
Done. Yep.
And they dominate now. So, it's, and before that, before there was any search engines, a lot of you are probably too young to remember, old bastards like me and Deadwood. When you first, went on the internet, you had to know the URL. There
Yeah.
was no search engines. You just had to know what web address you wanted to go to. If you didn't, you're fucked. It's like
Yeah.
there was no way of searching stuff. And so, yeah, when search engines came out, that was huge. And
You had to
that's
type
what
in www dot, and you couldn't just type in, Facebook.com and it just go to
no.
it.
Well, and again, you had to know that there was a Facebook.com. You had to know.
Well,
that
AOL
there
had the
was,
hub. AOL had the
yeah.
hub where you go into all kinds of different stuff, and that was your access to the internet for a while, and then other things developed, and it's that
All
fucking
right. Oh,
dial-up
yeah, yeah.
sound.
Dial up. All
Oh,
right. So let me. I'm going to answer Deadwood's question here real quick before we go. So he says, Vet, I have both for bags. Was thinking either add the arrow or the arrow staking, an LP, a liquidity pool, or increase my Ondo by 1K. Toss up. If it was me, and this is not financial advice, if it was me, it really depends on what you have currently, as far as your DeFi positions. Um, Probably what I would do, if you have some liquidity pools going and you have some locks that are done, I would probably put it in a liquidity pool and earn, and then use the earnings from that to maybe add to your lock, so that you can earn more off that long term. It really depends on how bullish you are on Arrow, because my locks are for 4 years. I honestly think Arrow is going to be around for a long time. Um, so that's just me though. So what is
oh
it?
yeah, Deadwood. If he said 3,000 arrow bag, if he hasn't, check out that what the flight school thing that we were talking about.
Yep,
Um,
that's
2,500 or more arrow if you have it locked. I don't know if there's a minimum lock amount,
there
but
is. So you have
okay,
to. It's a minimum of 2,500 Arrow, and if you lock
yeah,
it, depending on how long you lock it. So if you lock it for 4 years,
okay,
they'll match it 1-for-1. So basically, they'll automatically double your bag. So if you put
depending on the
2,500 of
lock.
Arrow,
Yeah,
then it's called Flight School, and I'm thinking
yeah,
it's every month. So I initially put in 5,000 Arrow, or $5,000 worth of Arrow. And so it goes off of that, not what it is whenever the drop happens. So if you put
hmm.
in 2,500 Arrow, whatever that's worth, that's what they're going to match. So if Arrow goes up, it's just that's what they're going to match. It's not the new amount. So keep
Okay,
that in mind. But they will double whatever you put in right now, and it will be locked as well. So I won't show it, but so you'll have two locked amounts of Arrow, but both of
hmm.
those will be earning. So every week you will get that VE Arrow that goes in and it compounds. So every week it's compounding, and then that new amount that it's added gets a larger amount, a larger amount, and a
Man,
larger amount. I did the math,
that's
and
two.
with my one $5,000 initial investment, with that kind of airdrop that I got, with it compounding, if Arrow gets to $30, we'll just say Arrow's at $30 in 4 years. It's like 3 point something million dollars that I'll have of a $5,000 investment. Granted, Arrow could go to zero, and
Yeah,
I'll lose that 5 grand. But to me, rolling the dice, on
Hey.
Arrow as a project and the platform and who's backing it and what they're doing, I put 5 grand in, they matched 5 grand. Both of those are compounding. And in 4 years, aside from what the other crypto stuff I got going on, I might be cashing out, 3 point something million dollars or more. If Arrow goes to more than $30, who knows? Drew the other day, he showed, that Uniswap, that when Uniswap launched, what it did over the bull market, and it showed that Arrow very easily could reach $30 this cycle. So it
Yep.
might dip, during the bear, and then the next bull, when I'll be cashing this thing out, it could go back to its all-time high of $30 if that's what it gets, and it could be 50 by the time I cash it out. So anyway, I'm rolling the dice. It's worth it.
Hey, that's a hell of a. They usually say take a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. You want to make 3 times if you're going to lose 1, and man, that lose 5,000 to you're risking 5,000 to make 3.5 million. I say that's a hell of a fucking risk to reward ratio that I'll take every time, man. Especially if it's a project that is heavily backed like Aerodrome, and that's what we're trying to help provide everyone here with is credible projects that are backed and heavily and that have bright futures and that are building and rewarding users, especially the DeFi ones, because you're printing. So yeah, it's beautiful to see, man. Beautiful to see.
Yes, it is. You want to drop any alpha before we go, or?
I had all the alpha. Yeah, I've dropped as much as I can.
Yeah, I'll tap out. All right, man.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate all you guys showing up, and girls, the Deadwood, appreciate you. Let's go through everybody in here.
I am Jay.
Appreciate you. Little, I don't know if you're still here. We got
Blue Green 83.
Oh, who else?
Blue Green 83.
Oh, Blue Green 83. We had a lot of people drop in tonight. We appreciate you. Hope to see you next Monday, same time, same channel. But until then, Veteran Crypto out.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.